The Suffering was a game that flew under many radars when it launched on the PlayStation 2 in 2004. Now, in 2024, revisiting this title feels like unearthing a long-lost relic from the era when survival horror was dominated by Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and honestly, it's a terrifying gem that holds up far better than I expected. Let's dive into this sick and twisted world of The Suffering. In The Suffering, you play as Torque, the protagonist, a convicted murderer sent to death row at Abbot State Penitentiary. You see, Torque's story is pretty messed up. Torque is in death row because he was found guilty on 3 counts of first-degree murder and is set to be sentenced to death by lethal injection. And this murder is no ordinary thing. Torque is the accomplice to the murder of his ex-wife and 2 children who were found dead in their home in Baltimore. His ex-wife Carmen was found in the master bedroom beaten to death. His son Malcolm was found drowned in the bathtub, and his other son Corey had apparently fallen to death from the second-story window of his bedroom. Police respond to the scene to find Torque unconscious in the hallway of the house. Torque claims to have no knowledge of the events of how his family died, and there is no suspects around or to be found. But it's pretty obvious that he is the one who murdered his family, since Torque is found covered in his wife's blood, and that all rounds up to him being fast-tracked in trial and was found guilty despite no witness testimonies and a lack of evidence. And this is where he arrives at Abbott on Carnet Island. 2 cops are taking Torque to his prison cell, where they speak of hating to do this job. One cop who is named Ernesto says that at least when you escort an inmate to death row, you know he's scheduled to get what he deserves. The cop Ernesto speaks on the crime Torque did to the other cop, and this man Ernesto has not one bit of sympathy for Torque, but who would? Ernesto goes on to say that Torque's story of blacking out during the murderous events is bullshit, and that the needle is too good for him. So now, Torque is in his prison cell surrounded by other death row inmates.
Willie's bed isn't even cold yet, and already they brought in a new guy.
I heard he killed his old lady and kids. Sick motherfucker.
Be quiet, you jerry-curled fool. Don't you know who that is?
Why should I?
That's Torque, the man himself. Word is he shivved half the Aryan Brotherhood over at Easton.
So fucking what? I can understand a guy killing his old lady, but he popped his kids too. Motherfucker deserves to be strapped down and dosed.
You believe what the COs tell you, Slick? You don't know shit about the man. I'm telling you, what I heard, he's all right.
That cocksucker's not going to be all right for long if he's in the row with the rest of us short-timers.
Shut your cracker ass, Goose. Man's due respect. You show him respect.
I decide who I respect, shitboy. Don't you go telling me.
Quiet down in there. Some of you want to go back on the loaf? I didn't think so.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Neighbor. Nice to meet you. My name's Floyd. How long you got till your turn on the table, huh? You all out of appeals? Your lawyer fuck you? I read about your trial. They got no witnesses, all circumstantial evidence. No one knows what really happened but you. But you can't remember a thing, is that right?
Best not to listen to him talk. Floyd's a degenerate parasite. They should have slapped the cuffs on him coming out of his mama's
At least
tongue.
I know Jesus is with me, man. Whatever I've done, the Reverend says Jesus has forgiven me.
Will you shut the fuck up, you baby-raping, sodomizing sack of shit?
I was just asking the man a question, Goose. Whoa!
What the fuck is this shit?
It's an earthquake.
What the hell's going on?
The entire...
CO, you gotta let us out. We still humans, man.
The whole
we got
fucking
rights.
place is coming down!
Sweet Jesus, what the hell was that?
Slick, you okay,
Is the
man?
prison collapsing? Are we sinking into the ocean? CO! CO! What the hell's going on?
Slick, what in the fuck just happened? Slick! Slick! Goose, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. And it wasn't me. If that's what you're thinking, I didn't touch that.
What was that? Goose? For fuck's sake, what's going on?
We forgive those who trespass against...
That was close. I thought we were done for. We gotta get out of this shit can before it collapses. Shit. There's something in here. It's in here! Help me! No!
Torque's cell gets sliced open by a strange beast, and as every inmate in his cell block is killed, he is the only one who survives. All you hear throughout the halls is screams of agony.
Inmate, back in your cell. Everything's under control.
The cell door behind Torque opens up and we see one of the dead inmates has a shiv in his chest. This is where you get your first weapon in the game. I look into each cell and each cell has a different type of way they died, be it a shiv through the chest, a man cut in half, or a guy crucified onto his cell wall. So now that I got my first weapon, I head out of the cell block and get into the officer's room where we check the surveillance cameras and see a bunch of cops shooting at something. Then out of nowhere, mowed down. I move forward and explore the halls of the prison and find another officer.
Thank God I made it into the light. I think I'm safe in the light. You've got to get me out of here! No!
Every death is pretty brutal so far, and each hallway has some disgusting ass gore. I move into the shower room where a phone starts ringing. I pick it up and it's Torque's ex-wife Carmen. She tells him to run out of this prison, run as fast as you can. This is strange because his ex-wife is dead, so who is this woman speaking on the phone? But anyways, the call is finished and I head into another room where we see a man with only his upper body crawling toward me until he eventually dies. Everything seems empty until the door suddenly breaks down in another room and I open the next cell block. We encounter our first enemy called Slayer or Slayers. They're the most basic enemy type in the game and the most common. They will often appear different, stronger, or more threatening later on in the game. I quickly dodge its first attempt at me and give it a nice combo to take it out with the shiv. We see the officer bust open the door holding, as Mr. Satan calls it, a piece.
There, or I will cut you down. You hear me, inmate? Do you hear me?
Give him a chance.
Ah, the hell with protocol. Everything's gone to shit. Right now, I'd prefer a murdering scumfuck from the road to one of those monstrosities. We got a better chance to survive if we stick together. But you will do exactly what I say, or I will punch a hole in your sorry ass. Got it?
Calm down, Fuck
him. And in the game, it's like you have an angel and demon on your shoulders, putting words into your head. The angel being Carmen, telling you to help him and give the officer a chance. The demon telling you to kill him, cut him to pieces. And sooner you find out that this person talking in your head, on the dark side I should say, is Torque's hatred, but we'll get into that later. I decide to help him as he tells Torque we got a better chance to survive if we stick together. The officer tells Torque to get a flashlight from the break room down the hall, as it is the best way to stop them from spawning out of nowhere and killing us. So I do just that, and now we not only got a flashlight mechanic, we got flashlight batteries along with these bottles of Exbium, I should say, and they are psychotic drug. It's an antipsychotic pharmaceutical, drug in this game that heals Torque throughout the game. Let's just go with it's an HP potion basically. but it's better. Exambium or whatever really works with the lore of the game. But now that I got my light, we both headed out downstairs, and this is when we get multiple enemies, aka Slayers, attacking us. I do my best to keep them alive because in this game, your partners, your allies can die, and it's up to you to either save them or they end up dying, and that sucks. So the officer enters the next room as we both survive, and we both hear a sound of agony. That is when the electric chair room shocks the officer to his death, and once again, I am all alone. But I get that sweet piece, as Mr. Satan would say, off the officer, getting my first gun in the game, a Glock, a pistol, or in this game, a revolver. I proceed forward after losing a partner and move this vending machine out the way to get to my next destination, where I once again run into the beast that runs off. And we now head into this metal detector room where we run into multiple slayers again, and a little puzzle that was simple door trapping, but fun nonetheless. Next area, Torque walks into the control room where he finds a man in a gas chamber. A voice in my head wants me to make him suffer, but I refuse to press the button. The man in the gas chamber thinks this is a joke played by his correctional officer friends and has no idea I'm at the button. As funny as this would be to press the button, I go the good morale path and try to free him from this chamber. It seems like he's locked inside, and what's worse is that the gas is turned on and the man is begging Torque to turn it off. But Torque is unable to do so.
Can you hear me? Do something! Fuck you! Those are my last words, you.
This weird green mist spirit caused this, and his name is Herms, and we will get into him later in the game. And now a new Slayer variant is here to fight me. I leave the gas chamber room quickly to avoid the health draining from the gas, of course, and destroy the Slayers in the next room. Next major scene is when I get into this strange room where we finally meet the man who killed the officer at the gas chamber.
Death is our stock and trade here at Abbott, the final solution. I am one of the few who will admit that. First it giveth, and it taketh away.
I've been here a long time. I don't understand much about this place, but I know your being here ain't no coincidence.
Well, look what we have here. How long I have been waiting to encounter such a fascinating specimen. My understanding is you've had periodic blackouts since, when was it? Ah, yes, early adolescence. Ever wonder what happened during those blackouts? Would you say you have visions of bloodshed? Yes, surely there is bloodshed.
So now I am put to the test, unable to proceed forward until I enrage and cause bloodshed. Transform, and I don't know what this fully means, but I'm killing countless enemies until I'm able to transform into this creature with a claw on the right and a bladed tendril on the left as an arm. And that is how I get my new ability to transform. But the funny thing, this is all an illusion to the eye. Anyone I meet throughout the game sees me as a normal person that is just an in-range killing machine, which makes sense why they do not react to me transforming throughout the game. They just make comments of how crazy I am or badass. But anyways, I make it through my next scene where I meet a new enemy.
Very good. We've made a lot of progress today. But be careful. A good thing only lasts so long.
Where the fuck are you? What's taking so long? Do it. Fucking do it! Just fucking kill me!
This new enemy is called the Marksman, and he has a bunch of assault rifles sewed into his skin. He's more bulky and likes to stay at range to fire. I defeat my first Marksman enemy and move ahead and hear a disturbing cry for help.
Daddy! Help me, Daddy! It's so dark in here! What's going on, Daddy? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I won't do it again.
that girl wasn't so innocent after I was done.
After I get my second weapon, a Tommy gun, pretty cool, and now I can really cause some damage. So I make my way to the next zone and once again find this mad doctor named Killjoy.
When performing a lethal injection, it is essential that the needles be placed with absolute precision. And unlike standard medical procedures, with a lethal injection you have a patient who probably does not want the procedure to occur. Therefore, it is of vital importance that the restraints be tight and strong. Even with that, trouble may arise, and it may be incumbent upon the practitioner to take matters into his own hands, using whatever sharp-bladed objects he may have on his person. Lacerations to the body at strategic locations may put the patient into a state of shock, making him far more pliable, or at the very least, causing him to bleed to death, thus achieving the desired end. And who are we kidding? We are not really trying to be humane anyway. Class dismissed.
Next scene, we run into a man named Dallas who knows Torque.
Hey! Is anybody in there? Hello?
Man, it's good to see another human. Wait, what the fuck? Torque, is that you? Fuck, man, it's me, Dallas from Easton. Man, if anybody could survive this shit, it figures you could. You seen some of these things, man? Fucking whack shit. I heard the government's been conducting experiments on us inmates. Next phase of MK Ultra, if you can believe that shit. Now it's turned into the mother of all clusterfucks.
He needs your protection.
He's a parasite.
Once again, Carmen and, should I say, Torque's hatred are on my shoulders, but I once again take Carmen's side to help him, and obviously because he's an old friend of Torque. Dallas goes into the room where we saw his friend Byron being lethally injected by Dr. Killjoy, and Dallas is upset, but we must move forward and I finally get to use my Tommy gun, and it's a fun thing to use. Though it really wastes ammo and shreds enemies down, and shreds down the ammo too. But anyways, it does its job. It's a pretty fun weapon. I shoot my way through enemies where we make it to a new place in the prison. Now that Dallas is equipped with a piece,
Their own too. Fuck yeah, I found the gap. I don't feel so naked now. I won't be able to smoke them like you can, but I got your back.
like me, we got even more firepower on our side. From the window, Torque and Dallas see a never-before-seen enemy who's called the Mainliner. It has this weird syringe that took out a Slayer quickly, but we move forward, and in a cell we find a man hiding in fear and does not want to leave. We then see blood bubbling on the floor, and that is when we finally get to fight Mainliners. We struggle a little, but we make it through, and I use the control room to close the door and help the scared man lock his cell away, which once more gives me a good morality boost by the angel on my shoulder, Carmen. We make it through the cell and into the prison yard, where we find 3 inmates killing Slayers, and this man with his boys is called Chico.
Sup, Chico? Long time no see.
Not long enough, I think. Dallas, you got cojones, you show your dirty face in front of me?
Whatever, man. Stop tripping. It's fucking chaos. We just gotta bust out of here.
Well, you think I forget, hombre? You and Byron thought you could hide that shit from me? Nobody sells meth, or crank, or H, or Sherm, or nothing in Abbott, unless Chico gets a taste. You thought you could play Chico for a fool, eh? Play me like a fucking bitch.
You gotta rat up your ass about some old news, man. Things are different now.
I don't think so, pendejo. You fuck me once, you fuck me again. See? Muchachos!
Yeah, I fucked you up, Chico. Bring that shit.
We quickly kill off that dickhead Chico and his crew, and then we get to our next big destination point and scene, where we see 2 men tied upside down in a cell block, telling us to hurry before Hargrave whacks us.
Oh man, you're here. You gotta save us before Hargrave gets back. You gotta cut us down.
I don't think so. My prisoners never make it out alive. The time has come to wash the scum from the earth. This is my Armageddon. Lock it down.
I take out Warden Hardgrave and his guards all while saving Dallas, and this got me to reload my file twice because I do want Dallas alive, and this is not so easy, but we kill Hardgrave and his guards. But then Slayers come in, so I use the same turret gun Hardgrave used on me and mow down hordes of Slayers. Hordes! I finally get them down where we find an exit, a haven, freedom. But I need to do a little parkour and get to that control room, which I do. I get the door open and Dallas makes it through, but the exit then catches on fire, and this leaves us split up and never to see Dallas again. And this makes us wonder if Dallas escapes the Abbot prison or not. Either way, I do the good deed and move forward, where I get outside in the prison yard and take out a marksman who is trying to kill a correctional officer, which gives me another good morality boost, good deed. But then...
Yo, come on, we're busted out over here!
No. You cannot escape what I bring about.
After Herms has taken out those inmates, I make a run for it where I overhear officers on a watchtower. They are scrambling around with enemies outside, but they use the spotlights to target enemies. This spotlight burns the enemies immediately and quickly kills them. This gives me the chance to stay in the spotlight while hordes of enemies try to attack me. And this is a good section of how I survive the onslaught. I make my way through another cell block, but back inside where I help some inmates escape via control room, that is when Torque gets another vision. This time Carmen wants to speak to him.
I'm pregnant. That's not all. Look, it's over, T. You say you're innocent, but I don't know if I can trust you. I'm filing for divorce. You can't be a father in jail. I can't bring Corey here to visit you, or the new one. It's better if they just forget, for now. It's better for me, too.
I hope you've forgiven me, T. Things might be different if I had been able to hang on.
I make my way after into a room where Killjoy locks me in a puzzle room where the exit is on fire, and I must think outside the box as Killjoy puts it, and I find a room with my next weapon I get, which is a shotgun. And this thing lights up enemies good. You get close up and you can really just split them into two or shoot their heads off. Really good weapon. But anyways, I turn on the sprinklers and notice as I take out mainliners that the water is filling the room nicely. This takes me a bit to get, but I get it, and I put the vending machine over the floor drain, which makes the water spread throughout the floor, taking out the fire. The puzzle is complete and I move forward, where I run into a new uncommon enemy which is called Nooseman. I take out the Nooseman and some Slayers and move forward, and I find my next ally in this game. The man named Luther will take me to the radio tower where we will call for help. He's a complete coward, but I somewhat get it, as there's demons coming out of nowhere, killing everyone that cross paths with. Who wouldn't be afraid like Luther? I use the spotlight to burn the enemies and take out the marksman in the prison yard afterwards, and there are so many of them, man. I even go into my transformation to take out quite a few to clear the area. But I do it and we make it to the radio tower, and...
The radio's already on. What the... That sound coming over the speaker. It's like it's possessed or something. After all that, it's still dead.
Sometimes, I think you were the perfect father.
It looks like interference is coming from the western part of the island. Wait. That's gotta be from the old asylum. Corrections officers go out there sometimes. They set up an old radio so they can stay in touch with the abbot. Maybe that's what's causing the interference. But maybe it's something else. I always thought that place was haunted. Listen, you see, there's no way I'm leaving this building with things like there is. So you're the ones gotta go to the asylum. There's a map right there. You'll need to go through the old quarry to get there. You can get out of the prison by climbing up to the roof right above us and then jumping over to the diggers building. I'll stay here and keep the radio safe from those goblins. At least I'll try.
So now, we must get to the old asylum in the west of the island to stop the interference. Luther will stay here to keep contact in case it's fixed. So I go forth and split ways with Luther and make my way through a graveyard where Torque continues to see visions of his family. And this happens more throughout the game. Torque's mind is fully just deranged. He's gone pretty insane. And that is when I run into the cops that try to shoot me down. I fight back, but that also leads into Slayers appearing. And it's a rumble. Should I say Royal Rumble, basically. They're killing each other and I just take them out. But afterwards, a new enemy appears. But I only see it digging through the ground for now, so I move on and kill a few marksmen on the road. I get into a cave where I see an officer who tells me to be quiet. They're listening. And tells me not to get any closer because they can hear my footsteps.
Damn!
The burrower, or should I say the brower? The brower. A new enemy that digs underground and comes up with weird chains. It's an annoying type of enemy, the most annoying in the game, but you really need to bait it out and have patience while fighting it. I move on and make my way through a place where guards are facing the demons that continue to respawn out of a hell pit of some sort. And unable to save the guards from death, I take out the Slayers. Anyways, but the thing is, they keep spawning from the hell pit. I get the idea after senseless fighting that to use the crane above me to place the heavy pillar of rock onto the hell pit, and this stops the enemy spawn and makes path to cross. I cross through and make it to another crane section, and an inmate calls out to me that he needs to cross to the ledge nearby. So I be a good guy here and use the crane to get him across, and I get another morality boost from the Carmen Angel on my side. I place the platform back my way to cross, and that's when
Has the devil trapped you? You're not a bad man. You have to believe.
these two little girls made the teddy bear explode, causing flames to block my progress. I used the crane to slam the pillar into the water storage tank, which causes it to break down and fall into the fire, clearing out the exit so I can get into that cave. As I get in and proceed out of the cave to the next chapter, where I make my way to some weird looking haunted mansion.
Welcome, my fine gentlemen. I'm so glad you've come to see the show. My performance on you, as it were, will be something I shall thoroughly enjoy. And I trust, so shall you. I am not certain we have been formally introduced. Talk, isn't it? My name is Killjoy, Dr. Killjoy, and I will be your alienist this fine evening.
Killjoy uses his projectors to trap me in this room where I'm forced to once again fight Slayers, and I seem to be trapped until I notice I can shoot the projectors to unlock these doors. I move up the mansion stairs where I find a man on a couch smoking weed. His name is Sergey and he is high as hell.
No, you real, huh?
He's a filthy immigrant.
He's so friendly.
I move forward after a nice chat and good information by Sergey and...
And so, my favorite subject arrives. It is in this room that all the secrets will be revealed. I will employ an experimental device that helps me chart the undiscovered country. But you can't come to the show yet. First, you must prove to me that you truly want to be cured, and that you truly are worthy of my time. See you soon, I hope.
So now, Killjoy wants proof, and for me to be worthy of wanting a cure, so his main room is locked and I must find Worth. I make my way through the mansion where I find an officer in a padded white room with a missing lower body, no hands wiggling around in pain. So I take him out of his misery, and this is a good morality boost once again, as Carmen shows up, talking in my head. I go on ahead and move to the metal crate to get to the attic lower to the strange ceiling light, and...
Alas, the golden age of radio has passed us by. Who would care to broadcast only on the audio spectrum of human perception when it is the visuals that can truly enrapture an audience?
I'm once again locked from leaving the basement by Killjoy, and I must fight through heaps of enemies again. And afterwards, I see a projector trapped in 2 cages of metal, and it's movable. After I take out a projector from the side of the room, I move the cage, and now I'm freed from the attic. I now proceed forward.
Nowhere do the stars shine as brightly as they do on Carnate Island, on this very stage where it is my pleasure to introduce to you the world of your own mind. Given a dark enough environment, this projector, this wonder of modern science, allows me to appear here before you today.
We are in a theater room, once again trapped by Killjoy. I again quickly take out those slayers and noose men, and shoot the rope that is keeping this painting too high. It lowers just enough to block the projector so I can move out of this room. And then I get to the catacombs of the basement of this mansion inn.
In this new art of projected light, one problem still remains. It is so very difficult to find good talent. Certainly, I am able to bring life to this piece of celluloid, but who to appear opposite me? Who to play Iago to my Othello? Eliza Doolittle to my Henry Higgins?
Killjoy once again locks the room and traps me with mainliners. This time, once I defeat them, I see a metal crate by a bookshelf, and I move it out the way to have the bookshelves collapse onto each other like dominoes, which blocks the projector and once again frees me from a locked room. I finally unlock the room Killjoy is in, and...
At last, you have made it to the climax of this fine performance. Let me introduce our newest player. This fascinating specimen is a creature of purest strength and rage, whose presence here must prove quite a conundrum to you. His resemblance to these other soulless beasts cannot be denied, but he is altogether harder to truly understand. But with the capabilities of my experimental device, I can bring about a rebirth of the spirit, an awakening of the soul. And thus, we can shed light on this most unique situation. Why not come inside, and I shall show you?
Now I am once again locked in the final room in this mansion by Killjoy himself, where projectors are everywhere. I must break each of Killjoy's projector in a certain puzzle, like the way a Slayer in a certain puzzle, as Slayers continue to respawn. I do this, and now I use this machine that gives me rebirth powers in some kind of glowing bluish purplish grenade, like some kind of grenade lobbing technique. It's weird, but I toss it at the creature that is apparently me. I have made progress, as Killjoy says, and he then tells Torque that no matter what you do to accept yourself, there's no telling if someday the bell jar will not descend again. This leaves me a bit confused, but now I have an exit out of this creepy mansion through the window that shattered. The next chapter, I hear some old countrymen yelling out, "It'll be a cold day in Hades before I relent to you fiends." As that was going on, I see blood-covered rats jumping at me, exploding, and somewhat a new enemy is soon to fully appear. We'll get there soon, but I go through hordes of enemies throughout the roadway, and the old man keeps throwing Molotovs to kill enemies, which stops me in my tracks and makes me go different ways multiple times. Afterwards, I finally run into the man who was named Clem.
See another human still among the living. The name is Clem, sir. I've been plotting my escape from Abbot for years, and I had hoped to carry out my exodus tomorrow. But these recent events have ruined everything. Here, I'll show you.
Make him bleed. He can teach you a lot. See what he has to say. Kill him.
So Clem has the idea to escape Abbot and has been plotting for years, but the recent events has ruined that. Clem is now going to show me why he cannot leave. This new enemy is stopping Clem's escape. Is called Fester or Festers. I help Clem take them out, and luckily Clem is the best ally in the game. He has infinite Molotovs, but he can hurt you if you do not get out of the way of his fights, or his sight I should say, from the Molotovs. Clem explains that these creatures are coming from the inside of the shipwreck, and if Torque can get in there, that he might be able to destroy them, and then Clem can launch his boat out and escape. So while Clem continues to destroy the Festers, I make my way through the shipwreck and take out the Festers that have been causing Clem trouble. Clem escapes, and now I have a map from the sewer to navigate my way through. Now I spoke once again to Horace, and over time he seems to really like Torque, and he warns me that this place wants Torque and it won't let go of Torque. He says the same for him. Horace warns me it's sending something after me, and he is correct, as infinite amounts of rats come after me in the sewers. I rush off in a crazy little escape and climb the ladder, and this ladder leads me back to chapter 1 basically, back to the start of the game, the cell blocks of Abbot. I once again speak to Horace.
So long just to fucking sleep. I think you're my last chance, Torque. Don't let me down.
Horace gets a cell gate open for me, as it seems he's leading me to a place where he could finally rest in peace, and that is the electric chair place again.
Oh no, it's back. It's starting again. It never stops. It just keeps burning. It won't let me go.
This boss fight is pretty cool. You gotta jump over the AoE electric ground. The electric ground AoE that's constantly in this fight, and wait for it to open a power bracket to shoot it down. One must be shot down to stop this machine, and not only is the AoE going on, there's electric wires from the ceiling that you can run into that hurts you, and they increase after each power bracket is destroyed. One by one, multiple power or electric wires hang from the ceiling. Horace is defeated and thanks you, as he can now finally rest in peace.
Thank you.
But then Herms is back in that gas chamber.
He is gone. Now it's just you and me. We will meet again later. I look forward to it.
I go through the same prison block where I make it all the way back to the first place I was, which was where Torque was put in his cell block being sentenced to death row.
Is that you, Daddy? Daddy, I love you, Daddy. You wouldn't hurt us.
Dad, I'm over here. You're not so bad, I guess. I just wish you'd always been there, you know? T! Over here. Something broke in you in that group home, T, and I didn't have enough time to fix it. There's beauty in you. I could always see it. Stay strong for me, okay?
This is a pretty sad but powerful scene that shows that Torque's family has no hatred for him, even after what he did, and Carmen tells Torque that he needs to be strong and stay strong through this all. I make it through the cell blocks and go back outside where I run into two officers that are just shooting down enemies and raising hell. I help them make it through to a safe place and save more people. I make my way through to the radio tower once again where I find Luther, and he's dead, and the ladder above is broken. The Coast Guard gets a signal through the radio and says he cannot land because it's too much fog and he needs the lighthouse on to guide through and help survivors. I must move forward to get to that lighthouse and turn it on.
Keep going! I think we lost it! Watch out! Up there! Oh, Christ!
Escaping isn't as simple as just getting outside. But I don't need to tell you that. You know there is no real escape.
After I spurt to Herms again, I make it into a cave where someone tosses TNT at me. It misses, but this continues through the cave that I entered until I reach him in a blocked off way. He's stuck. He tells me he's stuck and I need to get him out of there. I decide once again to help him.
Thanks, man. I would have gotten out of there myself, but you just sped the shit up. Hey, sorry about trying to blow you up back there, but I thought you were a hack. I've been in Abbott too long, damn it. Look, I ain't going back. You feel me? Come on. We gotta get to the lighthouse.
I got a new ally again that has TNT as a weapon, and he can prove even more useful than Clem with the Molotovs. He tells me the lighthouse has a basement and we can hold up there until help. He says he knows all the shortcuts through these taverns. We both make it into the basement of the lighthouse.
Sweet. This is it. We're set now. It's like a vault in here. Nothing can get in.
Nothing?
You say something?
Yes.
What was that? I think the dope's coming back.
Breathe deep.
That smell! What in the fuck's going on?
That always feels good. He needed to go. He wasn't interesting enough. Not like you. You understand how it feels. They needed someone professional to pull the switch. A lot of eager sadists applied, but I was the only one who took the work seriously. So seriously, I wanted to taste the gas myself. That's what carnate does. It brings out the killer inside. It's the perfect place for you and me.
Now I'm in some kind of boss fight where Herms is filling the basement room with the deathly gas from the gas chamber. I have to turn off all the valves off, move some crates onto floor drains, and as Herms appears over the main floor drain, I have to open the furnace and use the lever to open the valve to push the smoke out of the pipe that moves Herms into the furnace, where I then close the furnace door to kill him off.
Yes. That's it.
The gate opens and I climb the ladder and enter the lighthouse, but the beacon needs to be restarted, as said by the man on the radio. I open the door and hear two little girls once again speak.
Aren't you? You must be here to take me strange away. People. We've been playing for so long. You're the one, aren't you? How did it get this big?
These new enemies are called Inferna or Infernas, little girls who turn into these flaming demons. But soon help comes as Officer fights the Infernas with me, and these things do not die by just killing them. You need to shoot their ashes until they're gone to permanently kill them. They create trails of flames and they do some crazy ass damage and are pretty annoying to face.
You! God damn it, what are the chances? I survived 10 hours out here in this pit of hell, and I had to run into you? The scum who killed his own wife and children? Why, Pendejo? Huh? Why you do it? You going to kill me too? Come on, inmate, kill me, I dare you!
Kill him before he kills you.
Wait, he's just confused.
So it turns out you don't have the cojones to kill me when you have the chance. You fucking inmate. Go to hell, I am done with you.
The officer named Ernesto runs off, not wanting anything to do with me, but I continue to follow him as it seems we're both trapped. And if you remember Ernesto, he was the guy that said lethal injection is too good for Torque. So this all goes back to the first scene of the game. Soon Ernesto sees that we may hate each other, but 2 heads is better than 1. We move forward where he tells me we need to get to the generator, get the generator started again to turn that lighthouse back on, so I follow him to the objective. The generator is here, but there's a hell pit again with infinite spawning slayers, and there's no way to get past the fences. I head into the little tower where I put the spotlight on the pit and cause a huge explosion. This gets me an entrance in through the fence as the explosion made an entrance. I turn the generator on, and now me and Ernesto head back to the lighthouse, where Ernesto says the power is on but the light is not turning. He tells me I need to fix it while he keeps watch. And so I climb the ladder and see the gears have pieces of Slayer's blades in the cogwheels. So I shoot them off and turn the lever to get the lighthouse running. I get back to Ernesto where he says inmates are scum, but you, maybe less so. It seems we're getting along greatly, and then we get back to this gate where Horace appears once again. And of course, I'm the only one that can see these past ghosts. And he gets this gate open for saving him from the never-ending pain of the electric chair, which is a good deed. The next part is where there's no way to cross this bridge or road until...
So, you still need some help. In the lighthouse, you showed me just how good a killer you really are. But you don't know anything. Go on to the dock, where you'll see how things really are.
It looks as Herms has helped us using a bus to make a bridge. I don't know if I say Herms or Hermes, but anyways, we see the town where Ernesto's family is. He says he needs to get to the town to find his wife Consuela. You don't know Consuela, but if you play the sequel, you'll know Consuela. We go forward, but are cut off by Infernas, who we fight, but the path to Ernesto is cut off by Inferna's flames.
There is no way through! This inferno is too thick! I must go back to the town! I have to keep looking! You go on, inmate! Meet the Coast Guard at the docks! I will meet you there later!
So, once again, I'm left alone, and Ernesto tells me to meet the Coast Guard at the docks to meet him later. So I head to the docks.
My diagnosis is complete. Your cure is at hand. You might think my methods a bit unorthodox, but my results will speak for themselves. Ahead you will encounter something altogether unlike what you've seen before. But I have something that can help you. A device that can cure you, put your demons to rest. But only if it is sufficiently powered, and only if you are in your more, shall we say, primal form. Use this correctly, and you cannot help but be cured. You do want to be cured, don't you, Doc? It's up to you now.
I head to the docks and I find Torque's son and...
The man was wearing black clothes. He was like a shadow. I didn't see him, and then he was there. Oh, Daddy, I wish you could have been there. I know you would have kept us safe.
Final boss fight is here, and it's no other than Torque's hatred, the creation himself, and this boss fight is crazy. I cannot kill the creature as the creature is myself, so I must stay as Torque to kill him off, because if I kill him as the creature, I end up killing myself. So I turn back to Torque, I stay as Torque to kill him off, while multiple enemies spawn in the mix. I use the turret gun that's fenced off and kill the creature with it.
They killed us to get to you, didn't they? I forgive you, Dad. You couldn't keep us safe forever. I just wish I could have said goodbye.
So now the creature turns into Torque himself with a Tommy gun, and I'm facing my mirrored self, and this time same goes. I cannot kill myself with bullets or as Torque, so I must use the creature to kill myself.
You always had the worst luck, T. We didn't work out for so long, and when we got close, it all got taken away. You'd never hurt us, not on purpose. No matter how angry you got at the world, you always loved me and the boys. Now's the time, T. You need to face down the anger you have inside. Remember, I'm right there with you.
The finale is here, and the boss fight is Torque's hatred, as I said in the beginning of this video. And Torque's hatred is this man that's been in my ear talking to me, wanting bloodshed, wanting death all around him. This huge creature that represents the anger and wrath within Torque. It is huge, a gigantic version of Torque's creature transformation, all while having a miniature version of Torque body wrapped and dangled from its body like an umbilical cord of some sort. It's a crazy boss fight, and I must use the crane control panel to lower that Killjoy rebirth machine that gives me rebirth power grenades, like in the mansion with Killjoy. This rebirth power kills the creature. This fight is a dodge and lob battle. And this creature, as called in the Spanish version, the Disciple of Evil, has 3 appendages on its back that shoots fireballs with a barbed wire halo on its head. The only way to hurt and kill this boss is to lob grenades at its exposed heart. Defeating this evil opens up a memory in Torque's head, something hidden.
Sends his regards. Back in Eastern, he warned you, but you didn't listen. He said to leave you alive. Only you. Enjoy your new life.
Get on board, quick! I don't know what the hell's happened, but we gotta get out of here. Another boat's coming to pick up anybody else who's left. Hold on! You're that guy Torque, ain't you? I heard about you in the news. I got a friend at the DA's office. Says the prosecutor on your case is being indicted. Says you probably get a new trial. Guess it's your lucky day, huh?
Jesus. You look like you've really been through hell.
Somebody's missing from this picture, T. I don't want us to ever be apart again. Love always, Carmen.
In 2024, the story still resonates. The game explores themes like mental illness, guilt, and the horrors of the prison system, with a depth that was rare for its time and still is today. The voice acting and cutscenes are good. It feels authentic, unlike much of the voice acting in a lot of AAA games today that sound like some player's script, with some standout moments of eerie dialogue in The Suffering. While the graphics have obviously aged, the gritty and oppressive atmosphere still grips you from the start to finish. The design of the monsters, based on different methods of execution, is creative and disturbing, a testament to how atmosphere can elevate older visuals. And that's the thing about older games. They had limitations, but it did not stop them from being passionate and creative, because back then developers were just more free to do things than today. Playing The Suffering in 2024, 2 decades after its release, was an enjoyable experience. It's a game that holds up not because of its mechanics, but because of its story, atmosphere, and disturbing creature designs. The morality system and psychological undertones add depth to what could have been a simple monster slaying action game. The game feels like real horror. It takes you down a path of your choice, and it lets you know the lore of the prison, the lore of Torque and those who are still haunted in Carnet Island. I love how the cutscenes are not movie-like, how the game will have important cutscenes, but let you get back to the action. It's not giving you these 40-minute cutscenes that are annoying. It did its own thing. It strayed away from frail central characters. It didn't want fixed camera angles or have this sparse ammo system like the others. Richard Rouse, the writer, creator, etc. of The Suffering, is a genius, and this game was a game I never played before. It's a unique experience that moved away from tired horror cliches and did its own thing. The inspiration that came from this game was said by Richard Rouse himself, that it turned to horror films such as Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Big culture classic film there. I mean, when looking at the infernal little girls, they do remind you of those little girls from The Shining, along with Torque's mental going haywire throughout the game. And I know they said The Birds, Blair Witch, and The Ring is influenced by The Suffering, but I'd like to say and add, Jacob's Ladder also stands as something it feels that it was influenced by, as the protag of Jacob's Ladder is very similar to Torque out of any video game character I've ever seen. If you are a fan of horror, or if you are nostalgic for the PS2 era, The Suffering is still worth your time, as you will never, ever find another like it.